Welcome to my video about marker drawings. I'm going to talk about my inspiration, and also I'm going to show you the markers that I like to use to make these drawings on acrylic painted paper. If you're interested in making your own acrylic painted paper, look for the link to my video up in the corner. My favorite markers are Sharpie oil-based paint markers. These are the markers that you have to shake up. You hear some noise when you shake it, and you have to warm up the tip to get the ink to come out. So you see I'm pressing down hard on the tip, depressing the tip to make the paint come down to the felt tip. So here's one that I just opened, and you can see there's no paint in the felt tip. Now you can see that it's starting to come down into the tip. To get warmed up, I like to start on scraps of paper. So here I have a pattern I'm following, and I'm still just getting this marker warmed up. So I'm gonna let this piece dry. Oil-based paint markers take a little time to dry, and then I can show you some techniques to give this pattern depth. One of the inspirations I'm going to be showing you is lace and crochet. So you can look at pictures on Pinterest, or maybe you have some heirlooms that have been handed down to you through your family. I really love that this is, an old-fashioned art form, and I'm translating it into something new and contemporary. So when I'm using this as inspiration, I'm not trying to be perfect. And here you see, once again, I'm warming up using a scrap of paper. And I just sort of go freeform, but there's certain things that make it look like lace. So by looking at lace and crochet, I've just sort of developed this language of loops, floral shapes, going out from a circle, and then the way everything is connected with these threads. Okay, going back to this one, I'm going to show you another marker. It's called Uniball Signo White Gel Pen. I'm using it right on top of the other marker, the oil-based Sharpie marker. That's why it's really important to let that part dry. It creates a highlight, like a two-tone white drawing. Now I'm going to use a regular Sharpie marker to one side of the white just to create some depth. I didn't use a paint marker because a paint marker is shiny and I wanted it to look matte, so it just went to the background. Here's a fun drawing I've worked on for a while. It's just gold on gold painted paper. So I'm going to use a Sharpie fine liner to give it some definition. With this technique, the Sharpie fine line marker doesn't really like to go over the paint marker, so you're just going to the side of it, and it can beat up your tip a little bit. But it is a really cool technique and makes everything sort of pop. Maybe a gel pen would work better here, like the white gel pen. I've never bought it in other colors, but I think I need to try that. Here's another example of that. I only have a small piece of it because I used it for a greeting card. So I don't really plan things out when I'm working on these marker drawings. I'm going to do another lace-inspired one, and I just start with some flowers and some leaves and then connect them up, to make it look like lace. It's really fun and relaxing. Now I'm using that white gel pen on top of the oil-based marker, once again to add details and highlights. Now I'm going to start with this thick line and show you how you can make a really three-dimensional look with using 3 different widths of markers. This one is called a bold point. Now I'm using a medium point marker. The markers also come in a fine point. When it's dry, I go in with the gel pen, and this time I decide to outline things versus drawing right on top of the previous line. And here's one more way to use that gel pen to add a detail to these lace drawings. It's kind of monotonous, but it has a really cool effect. I also like to draw inspiration from nature, anything I can find in nature. It's winter here, but I found these dried magnolia leaves, which I really love. I tested the gold marker on the corner of the paper, but I decided to go with the white because I thought it would show up better. I'm starting with just a simple contour drawing. I like to do that first, and then I usually like to just go freeform. If you see a streaky line like this, it means you need to shake your marker. The paint and the thinner needs to be mixed so that it comes out, flows more opaque. Sometimes these variations in opacity can be really interesting, and your marker might draw lighter in some areas and darker in others, and sometimes it works out and looks really cool. Dots are always a fun addition to any drawing with these paint markers. So I tested gold on top of the white and it sort of looked greenish, so I went with black. I just love when people say, I'm not an artist. I can't even draw a straight line. I can't draw a straight line either. So draw a curved line and then follow the curve. So that's how I approach these marker drawings. I just try not to think too much. I have lots of paper or I use scraps and I just put something down and just sort of go with it. Each drawing you do leads to the next. Well, I really hope you're enjoying watching these different techniques. You've learned a little bit and maybe will be inspired to try some of these drawings on your own. If you're interested in learning how to make the acrylic painted paper, you can check out that video. I also sometimes combine these marker drawings with monoprints, and I have a video about monoprinting too. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications.